Welcome to Empowered Women Live. Hey, it's me, Jerry Cates, and welcome. I got a great series for you. Let me just jump on here on Facebook. I'm going to keep trying to see messages when they come in, so bear with me. If you're here live, hashtag live, here for the replay, hashtag replay, I'd love to know what your key takeaways are. So let me just open up comments. And there we go. All right. So today's topic, approval addiction, the hidden cost of being liked. Let me ask you something. Have you ever swallowed your truth just to keep the peace? Have you ever said yes when you meant no? Smiled politely when something inside you was breaking? If so, you're not alone and you're not broken. You inherited a cultural lie, and it says, I'm not liked, I'm not safe. If I'm not liked, I'm not safe. Yes, if. If I'm not liked, I'm not safe. That's the cultural lie. So Dr. Claire Zammit, founder of the Institute for Women-Centered Coaching, identifies this pattern as approval addiction. In her, she's got a series, I just was introduced to it over the weekend in a training with them, in her Women's Cultural Barriers Matrix. It's a powerful framework for understanding the unconscious identity level blocks that hold women back. So let me just say some hellos. Hello, Maz, and is it Maz, M-A-Z, Maz, and Shri. Hello. So we're talking about approval addiction, okay? So you might recognize it through the lens of people pleasing, a behavior that many of us have, we've learned, right? But it goes deeper. This isn't just about what we do. It's about who we think we have to be in order to be accepted, loved, and safe. I'm going to say that again. It's about who we think we have to be in order to be accepted, loved, and safe. Now, let me tell you about this series that we got going on here. So this is a 7-part series that I'm sharing called The Cultural Lies We Inherited and the Truth That Set Us Free. Each talk will be one of the hidden cultural barriers, the patterns that women unconsciously live out. And I'll guide you to reclaim the truth of who you really are. Some of the topics we'll be exploring is the confidence gap, the perfection trap. I bet you can have an idea of what those are about, right? And how they show up in your life. The fear of outshining, that's like being too much, right? A failure penalty, and leadership bias, and more. So stick around and follow me for the next 7 weeks. So if you've ever felt like you were made for more but couldn't quite step into it, then this series is for you. Before we dive into the heart of today's message, I want you to know that I was trained in this work by Dr. Claire Zammit and the Institute for Women-Centered Coaching. I spent last year doing it. I just had a retreat over the weekend, last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Powerful. I feel very energized. But what you're hearing today is grounded in decades of research into how women unlock power, not just by changing habits, but by transforming the identities that have been shaped by culture. Okay? Let's begin with the first lie, approval addiction. Approval addiction isn't personality, it's survival. It's survival. Approval addiction is not a flaw in your character. It's a culturally conditioned identity that women have internalized over generations. We've been taught to prioritize harmony over truth, be likable over powerful, and adapt ourselves to every room, every role, every relationship. Does that sound familiar? Can you see that in our culture? And why? Because for centuries, a woman who was bold, disruptive, or disapproved of was punished. sometimes subtly, sometimes severely. There's a history in it. There's a history. It's a cultural thing. So we internalize the message. If I want to be safe, I must be pleasing. I must be agreeable. I must never be too much. Can you see that? Where in your life did you say that to yourself? If I want to be safe, I must be pleasing. I must be agreeable. I must never be too much. But here's the thing. That version of you, the one that's always editing yourself to stay to, to stay palatable, that's not your true self. That's not your true self. That's a mask your nervous system has learned to wear, right? Your nervous system is trying to keep you safe. Excuse me. So here's a little reflection. When are you, or where in your life are you still playing the role of the likable woman instead of being in alignment with your real truth? Just notice, just think about your different relationships and situations, whether it's at work or with a partner. Where in your life are you just playing it small, just trying to be likable and keep yourself safe? And can you see how out of alignment that is with who you truly are? What if you could speak your truth? And what if you could do it in a way that communicated? Well, first of all, knowing your truth, isn't that the first thing, right? What's important to me? Yeah, what's important? So the identity, my second point. This identity has cost you your voice, your vision, and your vitality. Can you see that? It's like dimming a dimmer switch, dimming the light. When you're stuck in approval addiction, you don't just lose confidence, you lose access to your authentic self. You begin to make decisions based on not what you want, but on what others think. You trade bold ideas for safety. You stop trusting your inner voice because you're constantly scanning for approval from outside of you. Every time you abandon your truth to stay accepted, you reinforce a belief about your identity. The real me is too much, or not enough, or not lovable as she is. So let's do a practice. If you're somewhere where it's safe to do so, go ahead and close your eyes and let's just take a breath and do that again. Nice big breath and relax as you exhale. Now, first I want you to drop down into your body. Imagine floating like a big rock, floating in a lake, floating down, down, down. It's going to land in that pelvic bowl. That's the bottom, the sand. Just let it land there, right there at your hips. And just coming from that place, that empowered place, bring to mind a moment where you abandoned who you truly are in order to be accepted, to avoid conflict or gain approval. Think back to that time. And ask yourself, what identity was I operating from in that moment? Who was I being? And what did I believe about myself? What did you believe about yourself in that moment when you were dimming your light, playing small, holding back? I'm not enough. I'm invisible. Now I want to invite you to tune into your future self. And just work with me here. Think about your future self as someone who's already accomplished everything you're wanting to accomplish. Your future self has already worked through your current struggles. She's on the other side. She's coming from the distance. Just imagine her walking and notice what she's wearing, how she carries herself, the look on her face. It's one of joy and wisdom and experience. This is the woman you're becoming, the one who is fully expressed, grounded, and free. What does she want you to know? Maybe she's giving you a gift. She's giving you something, a word, a symbol, an idea. Just allow yourself to receive that gift and just take it into your body. Okay, back to the room. So, real powerful connecting to your future self. And I have exercises that exercise 4 ways to power center. And if you want it, put 4 ways in the chat and I'll get it to you. I got it on YouTube. Um, it helps you connect with your wise adult self, your spiritual self, your witness self, and your future self. Now, can you imagine if you tapped into your future self once a day, once a week, something, if you actually tapped into who you are becoming, who you want to be, and who you're becoming, do you think that would be powerful now? It would. This exercise is meant to ignite your potential. And even your spiritual self, I always go back to that first moment holding my newborn son in my arms. I'm in the room all alone. They gave him to me and left. And that was a spiritual experience for me. Just the wonder of it all. And I'll never forget it. So, what's your deeply spiritual experience? Um, the other one is, and I'm digressing and I know it, but this is a really good video. You really need to watch it or do the exercise. I'll just tell you about, well, wise adult self. Can you imagine stepping into your wise adult self? The resourceful, curious, resilient self, the one who's a champion for others, and turning that towards yourself now. See yourself, how you're there for others, and then just turn that towards yourself, right? Your wise adult self. And then the other ones are the other one is your witness self. And it's about seeing your life as it is and backing up like a movie does or a camera does in a movie, in a movie. Just witnessing your life, not trying to fix it, not making judgments, just stepping back and taking a look at it and from a different perspective. Anyway, ask me for 4 ways and I'll know what you're talking about. Okay, so let's get back to this. So, okay, we're done with my second point. This identity has a cost. Okay. And do you see that? It's how we look at ourselves, right? It keeps us small. It dims our light. We walk around thinking we're not lovable, right? That love is impossible or that we're not enough. That was the one that was huge in my life. I'm not enough. Overgiving to others, not allowing others to give to me, not being good at receiving. If that's you, put a yes in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Overgiving, difficulty receiving, jack of all trades, because you're busy taking care of everyone else. There's never enough time, never enough money, never enough love. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the third point, the shift from approval seeking to authentic expression. Transformation begins when you stop asking, will they like me? And start asking, am I being my true self? I got too much in my hand. Let's do that. You don't need to be universally liked to be deeply respected. Everybody doesn't have to like you. It's okay. You don't need to please everyone to be profoundly impactful, right? When you begin to live in alignment with your truth, not your conditioning, and you see the difference, something shifts. Your boundaries get clearer, your presence becomes magnetic, and your relationships deepen because they're built on the real you. The real you. This shift is not about being louder or more forceful, I'm sure you can guess. Uh, It's about reclaiming your inner authority. It's this deeper connection with yourself. I like to say, that I help women forge a deeper connection with themselves. Because it's work. It's not like, oh, I'll just say some affirmations and, have my crystals. That's not enough. We have to do the daily work. And that takes mindset, right? We have to take ourselves out of the loop. I was spinning about something this morning. I got upset about something. And I really literally imagined my wise adult self walking to the darkness, grabbing my little girl by the hand and saying, I got you. Let's go tap. Let's go journal. Let's go breathe, right? So it's that inner part of you, that inner authority. I like to say, take care of yourself well enough so that you feed others from your overflow, especially if you're a people pleaser. So really taking that in, moment to moment, making decisions about taking care of yourself. Do you have a spiritual routine in the morning? Do you have something you do? I like to meditate. I like to read from a publication, an inspirational publication. And I definitely tap before I start working or anytime I feel anxious. So those are my self-care routines and rituals. Do you have self-care routines and rituals? Because it's really important. In fact, you can't be successful without it, without having some kind of nurturing. You can't really fully become yourself without it. Oh, I know what it is. You can't be unstoppable without it. If you don't have a self-care, self-nurturing routine, that's actually a big key to being unstoppable in your life. Okay. So I got a little, let's see, I'll make sure I got all of this with you. Yeah, place your hand on your heart. Let's do another, or do an embodiment. And just say to yourself, I'm no longer the woman who silences herself to stay safe. I'm no longer the woman who silences herself to stay safe. I am the woman who tells the truth and trusts herself to be okay. I am the woman who tells the truth and trusts herself to be okay. So you feel that? See how you take that in. Let that become part of your body, of who you are, so that when something comes up, you have a go-to. You can say an affirmation, but when you anchor it in, it means more. And we have lots of tools for anchoring in power statements because they're crafted out of the well, they're crafted out of you knowing your old story. I'm not enough. I'm invisible, and turning it around. Power statements. It's about turning it around into what you want to experience. Here's some more power statements. My truth is a gift. I'm here to express myself authentically and powerfully. I do not require approval to be safe, loved, or valued. I reclaim my identity as a woman who is free to be fully herself. I'm just going to say those again. And if you haven't said them with me, say them with me. Put your hand on your heart center. My heart's over here. Heart center. My truth is a gift. My truth is a gift. I am here to express myself authentically and powerfully. I do not require approval to be safe, loved, or valued. I do not require approval to be safe, loved, or valued. I reclaim my identity as a woman who is free to be fully herself. You have permission to be you. I reclaim my identity as a woman who is free to be fully herself. Give yourself permission. Give yourself permission. Let this truth settle in your body. Just let it settle in your body and feel what opens up when you come from this place. Yeah. If this speaks to you, know this. Approval addiction is not who you are. It's a strategy you learned, and you're allowed to release it now. This is kind of an identity level transformation, or the kind of identity level transformation I guide women through every day. Not just changing habits, but unraveling the cultural lies that shaped your self-concept and stepping into a truth of who you're becoming. I like to say that I help you come home to yourself. Yeah, coming home, right? So if you're ready to live and lead for more wholeness, type truth in the chat and I'll tell you the next step. Okay, type truth in the chat. I'll give you an exercise. Yeah. So I'm also really into tapping. You're going to start seeing more tapping here on this group, in the group, because I've found that it is the most powerful tool when you need to shift your energy fast. Because if you're sick upset to the point where you're sick, do some tapping. And you might as well learn it. It's easy and you can't mess it up. So I've been writing scripts for it, and I'll take some writing. I might take a client, well, I do. I'll take a client intake form and make her a tapping script out of it. And my client said, wow, because it was using the words that were important to her. Anyway, tapping, emotional freedom technique. I learned about it as a nurse practitioner working for Dr. Jaggi here in Sonora, a holistic doctor. It was the prescription for anxiety or depression. That's what was part of the protocol that we taught them. So I'm not a practitioner, but it's really easy. And it's more important to me. It's not like I have to have a license. So, I'm not worried about that. I checked. Do I have to be certified? But you're going to see some more tapping in here. And I want to encourage you, when you see me tapping, do it with me. Do it with me. Let's see what else. Oh, Destiny Pathway exercise. So I'm looking just for 4 women, just 4. I learned this or relearned this process over the weekend working with women-centered coaching, and it's a Destiny Pathway exercise. And what we do is look at, you get an opportunity to be in this relaxed place and really dream and express what it is you dream about. And then we'll talk about what's in the way and the steps you can take. The thing is that when I reflect things back to you, stuff opens up. So it sounds like what I usually do, but it's deeper. So it's 30 minutes. I have room for 4. You can private message me or put Destiny in the chat. And I know that's a lot today, but I got a lot going on. So thank you for staying, Cherie and Maz and whoever else is here. And I didn't see. I got you guys all out of. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I see your message now, Cherie. Oh, there are messages there. Okay. All right. So next week, what are we doing? There's 7 of them. So I can't remember them. 7 of them. We did people pleasing, the confidence gap. Don't you want to know about that one? What are the false beliefs we have about confidence that hold us back? That'll be next week. I'll see you later. Thanks for staying. Bye.